Hello, brothers and sisters. And this is Rev Dane Marks chatting with God. And we're going to talk about divisions in the world today, from my perspective and the questions that I have for our good Lord. Good Lord, please help me be as clear as I can so that the information that I have resonates well with the people that need to hear it, and how your answers will become clear to me as we continue this conversation. Thank you. So, good Lord, divisions within the world. I'm now 45, and I've seen many divisions in the world, but I've also seen great unity. And we seem to see an amplification of division, but I'm also seeing unity now, after my last question with you regarding social media. So it's becoming more clear to me that there is a kind of balance, although the balance may not seem like it's there. And I'm also seeing unity in division. So my explanation, my understanding, is when I was growing up, being mixed race and also being gay, there was a lot of, I seen a lot of division and divided thoughts, usually down to ideologies or people's understanding from different texts and information that they've been receiving. And but I also seen a lot of unity there as well, as in people just understanding, seeing the individual for who they are, and understanding it that way and navigating life that way. So, I believe I've lived quite a strong life, and I did have a strong support system, um, especially like moving forward in life, which a lot of people didn't have. So I might have an unbalanced view about the way the way that division has affected people. I have had my issues in life, moving forward, Lord, as you know, which you've guided me through, and you have helped enable me to give back more and to be the best person. Excuse me, the best person I possibly can. However, far from perfection, of course, but I don't never strive for perfection. I strive for understanding and wisdom. Um, yes, so I can remember experiences in my life where I've kind of seen these kind of things happen before. Racial divides, divides because of people's disability, divides because of people's social status, divides between classes was a big one back then. People's sexuality and how they wanted to express their lives. Um, but I've always thought, or especially in my later years, that providing you're doing what you can for the community and contributing to the community, and you're living the life you want to do, without hurting anybody else. I think that's the correct way to live in life. But I've kind of seen the divisions here, and the reason why I highlight, the social issues, the class issues, the race issues, the sexuality issues, the social status issues, educational issues of division, competitiveness in business as a division. I understand clearly that we've always been divided. There's always been ways that people have been divided within the community. It's nothing new. And there's always new kind of inventations, new kind of ways people try to seek division in society. Like we got the left and right illusion at the moment, where people are being either classes less centralist than right, and I just don't believe that's true. And you show me that's not true. You show me that there's vast unity in a variety of different issues, but there are differences, and I don't believe anybody fits into the left, centralist or right view of thinking. I think people have mixed views. You do have people, as I explained before, on different fringes. So you do have the extremists, but I think they're very few and far between. where they'd have extreme right views or extreme left views. I think generally the general populace are quite balanced, and they have a mixed range of views about a range of topics. So this left right illusion that you've been showing me is really just a fallacy. It's another way to try and create some form of division. And I never really understand why that's the case, but it is what it is. I believe it's down to free will, which we've obtained from you, and a way for us to fully understand unity, because we can't have unity if we don't have division and the polar opposites of everything. We need that is something that needs to be considered. I suppose my questions are for you, Lord. Um, you know, when we're highlighting these kinds of issues, is how we can best serve, or how I can best serve with the understanding that you give me, my brothers and sisters, in order for us to be able to navigate this with the best balance moving forward. Um, it takes an extreme amount of wisdom, I believe, and I unfortunately think there's so much information out there now that for people to get a kind of balanced views, especially with the use of algorithms as well. So if you're looking at one thing and you're trying to gain some information, um, I think that can be very difficult for people as well. Because what intended to find with these algorithms now is they seem to give you more of what they think you want. So getting a balanced view really does take a lot of critical analysis of things, and being able to search for things in a very open and broad way. Um, so yeah, and so I'm looking for more guidance and wisdom on these divides as well. But I think the holistic balance view is division is always going to be there, and I think we need to recognise that more. And not saying that people don't. Some of the people I speak to certainly don't. They tend to go with the narrative at the moment of what's being presented with them, which creates a lot of confusion. Um, without the critical evaluation that is needed in order to define, whether it's true or not. But there is a lot of information which is being given to people on a lot of different narratives and a lot of different ways. I think it's just more of having that balanced view and understanding that people are individuals and far more than just a narrative of division, trying to fit people into a category, of some sort, where instead of embracing the individuality in people and understanding that you can be from any kind of background and hold a range of different views. That's what makes us fundamentally unique, and be able to move forward with their views without being put into different categories of, because you're this. So, for instance, because I'm a mixed race black man, which is, pretty unique within itself, that I'm going to follow this narrative of this black narrative, which is going out, or I'm going to be the polar of this or polar of that, which just isn't true. Or, because I'm mixed race, I'm going to follow a white narrative because of this. It just isn't true. And other things that I'm kind of noticing is, like, if you've got if you have got a different if your sexuality is different, you must follow this narrative, or you must follow that kind of narrative. And this is what I don't like about this left right centralist nonsense, because it just really just isn't true or reflective of individual people. It just isn't. And now I'm seeing it more clearly with the abundance of things. But I'm also seeing, the unity of people as well, where people are actually starting to step up and, explain a narrative from a broader perspective, understanding, the both sides of where they go, and trying to make sure that the narrative is expressing that, each unique person has their own, variety of different thoughts and reasons for them thoughts, whether we agree or whether we don't, which is the joys of living in a free liberal society, which people have freedom of thought, freedom of conscience, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. That 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 people can hold their views and we can collectively agree or disagree or or have the conversation. It's very much that world, and I'm moving away from this narrow view that people are constantly being pushed into, as opposed to looking at the general wider view and understanding people's points to the best of our ability. And like I said, whether we agree or disagree, and that's also good. So yeah, so I'm seeking more wisdom on that narrative as well. And but I see the fundamental side of it is where I do understand that we've got to have the opposites. We've got to have these polar opposites in varying degrees in order to understand unity. For instance, if we didn't have division, we wouldn't have unity. If we didn't have unity, we wouldn't have division. I see those polar opposites everywhere. Um, throughout life, and it's just finding that balanced perspective in between. Um, but let me know, Lord. Let me know whether I'm on the right track or whether there's more for me to know. And fill me with the educational wisdom that you've got, and show me the way moving forward here. Thank you, thank you. Love, Rev Dane.